A fresh French breeze, the new Renault Mégane E-tech, stepped rather strongly into its competition league. This is a fully electric car. There will be no plug-ins or petrol versions. This car's launch color is called Rafale Grey, and it's got some nice splitters here. Great design on the LED light signature, which greets you as you approach the car. You get 20-inch alloys, which are called Enos. And as you can see, the wheelbase is rather long. The overhangs, they're pretty short, so you get a very good space inside the car. And these pop-out handles, as you approach the car, are very grippable as well. Nice touches, black roof, black side mirrors, and it looks good in profile. It's rather low for aerodynamics, and aerodynamics, that is something that you always talk about, but it's so crucial for the efficiency of electric cars. This car is rather light, at about 1,600 kilos in its class. That's good for being an electric car. And this CMF EV platform makes the battery rather thin, only 11 centimeters. So it weighs about 400 kilos, and that is great. You can choose between 3 different batteries in this car. One at 40 kilowatt hours at 130 horsepower. There is 2 60 kilowatt hour batteries, one with 130 and this one with 220 horsepower. And the great thing with this new CMF EV platform is that it's applicable to other models that might be bigger or smaller. The 130 horsepower 60 kilowatt hour battery gives you a range about 475 kilometers. This 220 horsepower, it gives you a range about 450 kilometers, while the 40 kilowatt hour battery gives you 300 kilometers. You can fast charge this car with 135 kilowatts, but what's good about it is that at a home wall box, you can charge it up to 22 kilowatts, and that is pretty fast compared to the normal or standard 11 kilowatts that you get on most cars. The car looks beautiful from the back as well. Very aggressive tone, and this moire or 3D looking LED gives it another personality. So the trunk door, it is an electric. And back here, because it's got the engine in the front, you get a bit more space down here. This threshold is a bit high though, so when you want to put down things, they might fall down. It's not that convenient if you want to shove something in and place it carefully. But it's got some depth, and under the floor there is some more deep space for your cables, because that is needed. This Mégane E-tech is actually 16 centimeters shorter than the regular Mégane, but Renault claims that inside there's a lot better space. Nice French ambience inside here, nice design language, and it's got some depth because you don't get bored with it in a short while. So they've really done a great job with this. It's rather dark in here because there's no sunroof. These light gray leather seats, they lighten up the interior a bit, and you need that. Depending on the level trim, you can get some recycled materials in the seats. Armrest here, which you can push back and forth. And here you got rather deep storage. That's good. There's a wireless charger here that sticks out, but I don't like that because it's pretty fiddly to put in and to get out. So a bit frustrating, but as it's lying there, it's integrated. Also, you've got a little cup holder here, and you can set your different type of space on your cup holder or whatever you got down here. Pretty convenient, and it's rather large. I think it's like 30 liters down here, so you can put a lot of stuff down there as well. Something that gets you as you jump in is this cool steering wheel, because this is cool. It's very racy. It's flat on the top and it's flat on the bottom, and it's very grippy. So it feels like, ooh, I want to go drive a little bit sportier, and you can do that. You got the multi-sense button here, which gets you into those different type of modes, like Perso, that's individual. You set your different type of driving settings there. Comfort is comfort. Eco, yeah, of course. Sport. The rear window is rather small, so what you can do with this rear view mirror is that you can put it in digital mode. So the rear view camera shows what's behind the car when you're driving along. Everything is rather logic in here. It's not difficult to understand. I also like the buttons on the steering wheel. It's like it's a little glass on top of it. It's plastic, of course, but they're not those semi-haptic ones that you get in other models. So I like that. In a traditional way, in Peugeot and in Renault, I also think Citroën, you get this multimedia switch down here. Some people find this frustrating because you might pull the windshield wiper stick when you should reverse or something. I don't find that very difficult. I like this. It's like in Mercedes, they also got this one. So behind the wheel you find those two paddles here. They're not paddle shifters. They are for the regeneration of the car. And you can set that in 4 different steps. Works brilliantly. We also got those 2 big screens. Together they are 24-inch. 12-inch here, 12-inch here. The typo is great. It's thin, it's elegant, but they're big. If you compare to the Volvo, they got smaller types. So you need to like, what does it say? But this one is very clear. You do not need to try to focus on what it says. Also, you get some physical buttons down here, and thank you for that. You got it for your temperature, when defrosting, circulation, air conditioning, and everything. And this screen is very, very rapid. You get into those different modes, driving modes, you got 360 camera, you get 26 driver-assisted systems in this car, so you can feel safe on the road. So I sit behind myself, and there's pretty good knee room here. I sit rather low, so I can't put my feet under the seat, really. You get a pretty high angle on your knees. The seats are comfortable, but it is a bit cramped back here. But the floor is flat, and that is good. There's no armrest back here, so you sit like like this, or with your hands on your knees, I don't know. You're not provided with a lot of luxuries back here. You get the USB-C ports here and electric windows. That's about it. This little light, oh, it feels like you're pushing through the roof there, but yeah. Well, it's a small car, that's what it is. So you gently roll away with a smile on your face in this car because it feels fun. The interior looks exquisite. Everything looks fun and a bit interesting in its design. You know, that's what it's all about. You should be happy every time you jump into your car and don't feel like getting bored after a while. But at the same time, it doesn't feel confusing or something. Everything is very logical, from the screen, from the buttons, and the buttons on the steering wheel as well. So you're not getting confused in here. Now we're driving in comfort, and it is comfortable to drive. Those 20-inch alloys, well, I think they might be a bit harder. Of course, they are harder than the 18-inch, but it's still very quiet in here. The response in the steering wheel, this cool steering wheel with that flat top and that flat bottom, makes it a bit racy. So you want to go into sport mode, and it feels like Renault Sport department has been here and done something. The power in this car is perfectly balanced. 220 horsepower on those 1600 kilos, which is rather light for this electric car due to that thin battery and that compact electric motor. Makes it rather nippy. But what doesn't make it that sporty, combined with the performance, somewhat performance, and this great steering feel, are the brakes. They are a bit fuzzy. You really I don't get the feeling at all for these. It's like you need to push it harder to get the feedback. Really don't like these. So 0 to 100 in 7.4 seconds, which is just enough. And there's something else. Those 220 horsepower, as you do a launch, let's see here, so there's no one behind us. And we just let go of that ESC as well. It won't spin off like many other electric front-wheel drive cars do. It's like it's perfectly set for launch. Let's see again. When the power kicks in. Oh, at about 30, that's where, you know, more of the power comes in. So it's mostly when you drive in the wet that you might get some spin, or when you push it into a hard corner. This car is fun. It's responsive in that steering. That's good. The steering might be a bit on the soft side. Yeah, I would like to have some more weight in it. So let's put it into eco again and just roll gently. The claimed consumption for this most powerful version is 16.9 kilowatt hours every 100 kilometers. And the new technology with this battery is that it keeps a stable temperature even though it's cold or warm outside. So depending on whatever climate it is, the battery temperature is always on a certain level to keep the optimal performance. So I like how high it is here. You sit rather low, so that feels sporty. Yeah, you can get down pretty low. And the very good thing about this cut wheel on the top is that when you go low, it doesn't cover your vision. That's very racy and very sporty. Once again, fiddling around with the seat, you get that displayed on the big display here in the middle. That's great. So we're driving in sport now, getting over here. Oh, the brakes are not that good. Let's push it. Stepping on the brakes. I think you can use this on track as well. I like this one, which is also a safety feature. It comes up how many seconds you have to the car in front of you. So you see that very clearly in this graphic, and it always alerts you. And I like that because you can lose that distance sometimes. Spin, spin. Oh no, it won't lose traction. I haven't mentioned the seats. They are sporty. When you flick around like we've been doing now, they support you very, very well. And at the same time, the stuffing is perfect. You also get massage in here. Also forgot to mention, as in Volvo and Polestar, you get the very quick and always so responsive and correct Google system. So with a fast command or a question, call a friend, get a navigation route, set the temperature, message, or whatever the system has incorporated. This combined with an open R-Link system which offer you 5 personal accounts without the need of your phone. You will be well served here. The Mégane E-tech is a likable electric car, one happy new addition to the growing electric world of newcomers. It's logic, interesting, good looking and rather uplifting to drive. And as I said before, its performance is well balanced and not frantic in an electric way, just good and plenty enough.